Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be talking to the wonderful Niccolo Bini about our house in LA that he helped us to renovate and create and design. He is such an incredible man and so talented, and yeah, I think it's pretty obvious by now that I'm completely obsessed with everything interiors. So, where is he? PC, don't you dare, I can see you. Okay. No? Where are you, Nick? Hi, Ray. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, still waiting for him. I'm sure he'll be on any minute. Anyway, while I'm waiting for him, what shall I talk about? I haven't been back to LA now for, 17 months or something. So it's been such a long time and I can't even begin to tell you how much I've missed it. Anyway, it's the second I'm allowed back in, I will be back there. Hi, babe. Hi, Dad. Oh, Dad's on here. Oh, Dad, I miss you. Where is he? I have no idea where he is. I might have to... Maybe he's forgotten about joining. I might have to log off and go back on. That's so annoying. I can't see him. Okay, I'm going to have to go check on him. Maybe he's forgotten. I'll be back. What a disastrous beginning. Hi, V. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. I can't see him. You spoke with him last night. I can see people saying that he's coming, but I can't see him. Okay, I'm gonna have to log out, call him, and I'll call you back. Not a good beginning. Wait, let's see if he's on there. Oh, there! Hold on. Dad wants to join. No, not Dad. There we go. Let's see if this works. Is it working? There he is!
Hi, Poppy. I am so sorry. I was trying to get on
So
and
sorry.
it wasn't
Do you know
working.
how bad I am at technology? It's actually a bit of a problem. You would
On
think
me.
that after all of this time in lockdown that I'd be really good at doing these, but obviously I suck. But hi.
No, entirely my fault, and my apologies to everybody. But thrilled to be on with you, Poppy. I'm so excited to talk about the wonderful Fredonia project. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh my God, of course. I've just been so excited to pick your brain about everything and to also reminisce. I mean,
I
how
know.
long ago was it now when we even started this project?
Too long.
I can't remember.
Too long. Seems like forever.
I know. And how did I'm trying to look back at how I first met you, because I know that the wonderful, I think it was Annie and Alice that set us up, didn't they?
Exactly. The amazing Annie and Alice. I think Alice, the incredible realtor, found Fredonia for you in the first place, and then said, you know, I might have a client for you. Would you like to go meet Poppy Delevingne? You know, would I ever? And it was just love at first sight. You know, can't believe my wife would be listening, but all metaphorically.
I miss your wife and your girls. And
my
of course,
dog,
Scruff the dog. Have you got Scruff there?
Scruffy, come and say hi. Well, you know, he doesn't move much, as you know, so
You've
we'll
never
come and
ever
say
met a dog that dribbles the way Scruff dribbles. Hi, Scruff.
That's your favorite client.
Goodness. Hello, baby. Oh, I miss that doggy so much.
So there he is. Yeah.
He used to dribble everywhere. I remember we'd get like a new carpet in and we'd look down and Scruff would just drooled delicately all over it.
Left us special signs everywhere for us.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so we were introduced by Alice and Annie. Thanks goodness for them. And then the whole project sort of began. But like, yeah, talk me through the process a little bit. I remember the first thing that we did is you took me shopping. We're not shopping,
Exactly right.
window shopping.
Window shopping. I wanted to get an idea, to get inside the head of Poppy Delevingne and understand what, really turned you on, and what kind of pieces worked, and that you felt like these could really work in our space versus other things. So I remember we took a beautiful trip through LA and some of my favorite furniture stores, and we were just kind of vibing off each other. Like, what about this? And how about this? And what if we took this and repainted it, or we
Yeah,
sandblasted it and brought out the character of the materials? And it was all an exercise in getting to know each other,
totally.
and entering into each other's heads, because I think it's so important. Two things about design. One is that you're designing for your client, you're not designing for yourself. And so it's important to understand what they like, what they don't like, how they entertain, what the house is, for. And of course, what a treat to be inserted into your lifestyle and understand your wonderful passions and tastes, and what really turned you on. What about spaces? I remember
Mm.
speaking about travels and some of the
Yeah,
memories, and I remember speaking about family, and the closeness that you have with all your sisters, and your family, and it was just a wonderful way, obviously, to get to know you, but to be able to design for you. And then the other thing is sight, and I remember walking through the site and looking at the building and sort of talking about opportunities. It was very much a diamond in the rough.
it
And
was.
yeah,
It really was. It needed love. It did definitely need a lot of love.
yes, absolutely right. We had to work with the pencil and the eraser,
Yeah,
and it was just a blast. It was certainly one of my favorite projects, and I just loved the fact that we went in there first architecturally. We needed to
yeah,
up the game of the house, and we spoke about opening up and closing some areas and heightening door headers and window headers. And so that was the first intervention. We had to work architecturally, so we did the drawings, pulled the permits, and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah.
then I got the exciting and adventurous opportunity to do the interior design with you and talk with. There's our Scruff.
There
Um,
it is.
Making calming noises. But yeah, it was just, the whole thing was absolute dream, fun, just a blast.
I mean, we had so much fun doing it. I remember Cara and I, our kind of main, well, we wanted a sister house, but we wanted it to be fun. We wanted it to be playful, adventurous, kind of humorous in a way as well. But the main goal was just to have a lot of fun with it, and for it to be a little haven where we could go and be as LA as our second home, and the final product was exactly that. It was even better than what I imagined, actually, come to think about it.
Well,
Um,
like you said, fun. It needed to be interesting. It needed to have a point, sense of humor to it.
yeah.
And that's who you are, and that's who Kara is. And so it fit the bill so beautifully to be able to design in that way for you too. I mean, like, who gets to do a sister project? It was amazing. And to sort of like play out the subtleties and fabulous aspects of each of your personalities in materials, through light and shadow, through textures, just absolutely dreamy.
Well, I mean, it can't have been. It must have been. You must have been a little bit nervous when you knew that you were doing a sister house, two sisters who have similarities in a lot of ways, but also completely different styles and tastes. I mean, doing that must have been a bit of a challenge in a way, or
Yeah,
was it kind of more exciting?
so, definitely more exciting than anything else. Obviously, there were challenges involved, but Poppy, like, both of you were so amazing, and I just and it was a whole team of people, right? There was Ray from Ray 3
Ray,
Design.
who's on here, by the way. Big shout out to Ray.
Hey, Ray. You know, couldn't have done it without him. Just amazing details and quality. And Anton Prack doing the planting. You know, made a heaven out of that garden, and the interiors, the interior plants, which obviously I care very much about.
Anton was incredible at bringing the outside in as well. So when you walked into the house, it was almost like a jungle, wasn't it? It was sort of alive. Pot plants everywhere, banana leaves. I mean, every type of plant you could imagine, as well, obviously outside, but more on the inside too, which was amazing.
Plants and planters, when he came back, I think from Oregon, with the macrame that we put in the hallway, right? We were like,
yes, so 60s, 70s vibes. They were amazing. Oh my God, I miss those.
So, but the thing is that I was going to say is that as a client, you know, you guys were amazing because you would appreciate, you know, like Anton's sister bought those up in Oregon, I believe. And when you saw them, you just, you know, were really appreciative. Or when his guys were like digging up, you know, those gigantic trees that we had to move, you know, you really appreciated that there was somebody there, you know, doing the work and doing it so well. And that it was just part of the richness and the beauty. And it, you know, what happens when you're that good of a client is that it brings everybody's game up. They're like, we want this to be like the best possible thing because Poppy is so wonderful. And honestly, like the whole thing was an absolute blast, I think, for all of us.
Yeah, it was I feel like it was a real community. We all got stuck into it. Everyone threw, I mean, everything into it. Ron as well from Pomeroy.
Yes, exactly right.
Ron, who had to put up with us and me going, oh, can we maybe move that window slightly to the left? He's like, what? Has the patience of a saint.
It's amazing. I remember Ron, one day we were in Kara's bathroom and he said, look, I was able to move this HVAC duct and give you another foot of ceiling height. I did it on my own. No extra charge. Are you okay with it? And I was like, Ron, you're just, you know, in construction, to find somebody like that you can trust, that is going the extra mile, and that, you know, isn't slapping you with change orders every 5 minutes. It's in Italian we say more rare than unique. I mean, sorry, more unique than rare. That's Ron Pomerantz.
Exactly. So yes, we were really blessed with such an incredible team. And I mean, if you had to choose what your favorite room in the whole house was, what would it be? It's a hard question, but which one and why?
It is a hard question, but I mean, the den, come on, like, when do you get to do a den, like, with a stripper pole, like,
Well, funny enough, you know what, out of all the questions on the stories, do you know how many questions I had about the stripper pole? Whose idea was the stripper pole? Why did you do a stripper pole? Do you like the stripper pole? I was like, of course, that's what everyone wants to know about.
Yeah, well, listen, me too. I mean, I can't get enough of it. It was a blast doing that room, and like the very thought of it, I was like, "What? I get to this up?" Like, and it was just like such fun. And of course, Ray just made those furnishings so comfortable and sleek. And
I definitely slept on that banquette a few times, if that's what you can call it. Is that the right name for what those seats were? They were kind of like a, and I definitely slept. They were very cozy and comfy, and I remember the soft velvet on my cheeks. So thank you, Ray.
David, well, I remember the first time that you took, like, you saw it, you just laid down on it, and I was like,
we did. Oh, and it had the mirrored ceiling, and I remember we all just lay down on it, going, oh yeah. This mirrored ceiling this is exactly what we wanted. And what would you say was the hardest part of designing the house?
the whole thing just seems so fabulous, and you know, I don't associate hard with it, but there was certainly some challenges. I mean, getting through the city, like, but we managed to, the Mulholland Commission and all the other players, but we managed to get through it. There were some structural challenges, I remember, with the headers and stuff, but again, it was a great team. So, you know, Ron just did his part, Palmer Construction, and we just breezed through it. It just seems like, you know, the whole thing was like, just couldn't have been any better, working for such wonderful clients, and also just the house itself was a diamond in the rough. So bringing out
Really
the potential of this thing was super fun.
It really was. Okay, I've got a few more questions for you, which people have sent in, which I thought were really interesting. People want to know if fashion inspire you at all when it comes to design. And I already know the answer to that, but a hard yes.
Big time. Big time. Yeah. Hard yes. Yes, exactly right. You know, any creative field, but especially fashion, you know, movies, you just like, there's such an amazing vibe when you see those new collections. And my wife, who has exquisite taste, you know,
really
is always
does, by the way, amazing taste.
Thank you. And she, you know, always sort of shows me like this collector out of Japan and this other one out of Turkey. And it's just exciting to see the materials and how they come together. In many ways, that's what we do as designers, and to be sort of the moment and at the same time timeless and referential. That dynamic is really fun, and again fit the bill with you and Cara, because I mean, speaking about fashionable, I think you know something about
maybe a little bit, just a bit. I mean, we were really inspired, I feel like, by our travels, weren't we? I mean, yes. I remember the sinks in my bathroom, I actually bought on my honeymoon in Morocco. Exactly. And we got those, they were in London, and we got those shipped over to the US. Our loo was from Mexico.
Right.
That was a great loo. Did you find that loo on eBay?
They sell them on eBay, exactly right. And the sink, I remember also speaking about the travels to North Africa, which inspired Cara's bathroom.
Yes.
And also contextuality, both the sort of international travels and pulling those in the art, in the finishes, in the themes, but also, you know, the contextuality and the excitement of LA. I find LA to be such an exciting city architecturally. People tend to like poo-poo it, but don't forget, mid-century started here, and mid-century is the most important American movement, I think, without a doubt, and certainly the one that inspires me the most. So we wanted to bring in that hippie vibe, you know, that sort of Beverly Hills, like glamour, Hollywood vibe.
Oh, yeah.
And there was from.
Definitely has a bit of that. We also had quite a few questions on people asking about that BHH inspired banana leaf wallpaper, and who is your favorite? Where did we get that wallpaper from?
So there's a store here in LA called Walnut, and I remember going there and just with you, and I think just going through the different kinds of options that we had and landing on, boom, this is the one, let's do it. They're a great resource, and that's another thing about LA. You know, there's so much antique, which we used a lot of antiques and to add that texture. There's a lot of great designers, so there's a lot of new stuff. So definitely a great inspiration in and of itself as well.
I remember we just wanted, I've got such an obsession, both Cara and I have such an obsession with Rattan, and you took me to probably the coolest place in the world. Correct me if I'm wrong, was it Harvey's Warehouse?
Yeah, it's called Harvey's on 3rd.
Harvey's on 3rd. Oh,
like one of my favorite
goodness.
Yeah.
You can go there and you can find Rattan, everything and anything. Everything is very kind of old school, and we came back, we've decorated half the house with it eventually.
Without a doubt. I remember turning around as we were leaving and looking at Harvey, and he was just like, it was just like, "Thank you, my man."
I
After
remember
what a
Harvey
man.
too. And of course
That,
we took Scruff with us because of course we didn't go. We never went hunting for furniture or antiques
no one
without
was.
Scruff.
Yeah, he
Scruff,
legitimized the whole thing.
yeah, he was part of the, he was the whole reason. Um,
Also,
okay,
I
more
remember
questions.
that fabulous.
Also, people really want to know, yeah, what was your kind of inspiration around the house? I mean, I guess we've touched a lot on that, but there was this sort of like Slim Aaron's, Bohemia. Um,
Yes,
anything else that you really wanted to touch on?
um, Slim Aaron's, the whole sort of vacation vibe that this
Mm,
house might offer you guys, because of course you at the time you were both based in London, and so
yeah,
to have that indoor outdoor, like you were saying, that Anton Prague played up so well. Was just fabulous. I think the outdoor space, the water elements, and so we were vibing off of so many the whole integration of travels, like we were saying. So just a potpourri of inspiration
yeah,
from your wonderful life.
so much, never ending. A lot of people have been wanted to know about smaller spaces. So someone wanted to know they've got a small flat and they want your advice on making it look fresh and impactful.
Yeah,
Any
so
advice?
look, I like to work with compression release. So if you have a small space and you can transition to a slightly bigger space, that creates a dynamic between the two, and then the sort of design density in one space versus a little bit more of minimalism in the next space. And if you recall, we did that a number of times in the house. For example, the interplay between the dining and the kitchen,
Mm,
between the entrance and the two flanking rooms with the living and dining, that sort of sparseness of one space and then the richness of the next helps create more space, helps the eye sort of move around the space. Obviously play with light, wherever you can have natural light, reflecting light, whatever you can do with light helps and increases the size of spaces. And of course, reflective materials help sort of, like give depth to a room.
yeah. Okay. Amazing. And yeah, and a lot of people wanting to know about designing, doing interiors on a budget. What kind of advice would you give to people who are working towards that?
First of all, use antiques.
Mm,
Go high low. If you have a special piece that you love, feature it, but then marry it with some less maybe expensive but equally special pieces that play it up. So high low, vintage. I spent 3 hours and then 3 days recently, one in Texas and one here, Round Top, Texas, and here at the flea market at the Rose Bowl. You can get such amazing things. I have now my entrance just full of stuff that I purchased, and they add texture, they add interest, there's stories. So high low is definitely a good way to good trick in design.
And Nick, how do you see the future of design now?
Well, the big thing is for me is buildings produce an extraordinary amount of waste, both solid CO2, solid waste stream, and we have to do better. We have to use FSC certified woods, and we have to reuse and repurpose materials. We have to, and that's another reason to use vintage.
Yeah.
We have to use locally sourced materials. We all have to pitch in there because it's our future on the line, unfortunately.
Absolutely. No, you're so right, my love. Any specific project you want to touch on in that you've done recently? There's one that I just saw that I just think was so incredible. It was just mind blowing. And I feel like you have to mention it because it's
Thank
so
you. Well,
stunning and out of this world. It's like landing on Mars.
it's a little bit like landing on Mars, or back in the 70s at a Pierre Cardin house.
Oh, yes, yeah, it's
Uh,
very dark.
we, so my father invented this new way of building in the 60s, and I've sort of been vibing off it for the last 15 years. And it is an environmental way of building. It's an affordable way of building. It's a very fast way of building, which also adds to the affordability. You know, my dream is to be able to develop a technology that is safe, that is affordable, and that is usable around the world, as a you know, alternate way of building. And so we're working on it. It's called Beanie Shells. And it's a big challenge, but I think all architects need to be thinking this way.
Yeah, such a good point. All about sustainability. You're so clever.
Well,
Baby, congratulations on that new project, though. That's really exciting.
it was
And I just, before I ended today, before I end our little chat, I just wanted to say also a huge, huge thank you to Architectural Digest for their incredible piece that they did on Fredonia. It was just such a dream come true, wasn't it? And that whole shoot, it was over a day. Trevor took the most beautiful pictures, and we had the best team, and everyone was there on site, working hard, getting it done. Amy Astley, thank you so much, and for making it a cover story as well. That was such a dream.
Thank you, Amy, for raising the bar of design with every issue. I mean, the whole team, absolutely incredible. It's so relevant. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I think the whole design community owes you a huge thanks. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, my darling, well, thank you so much for talking to me today and for doing this live. I can't tell you how much I miss you. It actually hurts.
I
But I will
can't
be
wait.
back soon.
You're the best.
You're
Best
the
client
best.
ever. I
Oh,
really, really appreciate it. Thank you,
I
thank you,
love
thank you.
you. Mwah. Sending you so much love. Bye,
Thank you.
honey. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.